Hi everyone, I'm Tim from Healthy Planet and I'm reporting here from the UN climate negotiations here at Warsaw, and I'm joined here with Alicia, and we're going to talk about some of the issues that often are left out of negotiations, and obviously that's going to be health today, relating to Healthy Planet. So in terms of your thoughts, what are some of the wider impacts of climate change on health?
Okay, well, the first couple impacts that we think about when we think of health and climate change are the direct impacts that we have on health. So if you have a major tsunami or typhoon like Typhoon Haiyan, you have lots of people without food, you get malnourishment, you get lots of waterborne diseases, things like cholera and that sort of thing hangs out in the water when it's stagnating after a big typhoon. The other problems are if you have extreme weather, so if you have really, really hot days or really, really cold days. We know that the recent heat wave through Europe a couple of years ago did kill quite a few people, and they are projecting in the future that there will be more heat waves, and that will become a norm. So just those are kind of the direct impacts that we see from health.
But surely it can go a bit beyond just the direct effects. Sometimes do you think there's areas that maybe aren't immediately associated with health, but kind of the indirect effects that arise from climate change?
For sure. There's a couple of ones that we don't really think about but are really, really important. The first one is the vector-borne diseases. If you're having more warm climates, you're not getting winter kill off of lots of things like mosquitoes or rodents that carry a lot of diseases that are communicable to humans. And the other aspect of it is that we have lots of climate refugees, and that's a really, really big deal. There's recently the world's first climate refugee from Kitimat that's come and to New Zealand to seek refuge. Whether that will be processed through or not, but you can see there'll be a lot of mobilization of people, and health conditions in refugee camps, as we know, are quite not up to the UN standard.
So applying this to the negotiations, do you feel this is getting enough attention? Or if not, what are some of the areas perhaps we can raise and tackle some of these issues?
I think it's definitely not getting as much of attention as it is. There's a lot of focus on what the underdeveloped nations will have the biggest impacts, and generally that's quite true. However, even the more developed nations will see quite a few health impacts. I mean, a huge storm doesn't choose where it's going to go. So even places like the US and Canada and Australia will see really big health impacts from these things. So I think that needs to be emphasized, and we need to take that direction rather than the more finance area.
Yeah, really good, really good. So I think that does show there's a lot of co-benefits that we like to call them health co-benefits,
Yeah.
that you can get from responding through mitigation, so reducing emissions, and also just adaptation to climate change. So I think it's a really important area, and yeah, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks.